What's up, my threeple, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm finally kicking off the Legend concept series here on my channel, and yeah, this is going to be a really interesting video. So without further ado, let's try to get into this, shall we? So I've been feeling a little ill for like some time now. I'm doing better now, so that's good. But this gave me the idea to make the legend concept a legend concept that I've had stored in my mind for a while, which is a legend that is kind of virus based and I think would be really interesting. So let's take a look now at the concept, and excuse my bad handwriting and mediocre drawings. So okay, but anyways, so this is the legend concept here. The name of the legend is Phage, known as the Bacterial Biohazard, and she would be a support legend. So let me get into the little lore segment I have here. Phage lost her life when she was working on a cure for a rampant virus. After the cure was made, a group of bold scientists wished to weaponize the remnants of the virus and went for a twisted approach to do so. Phage was turned into a simulacrum and a terrifying bioweapon that carries what's left of a deadly virus. It's a very interesting lore. Like, again, she was a scientist who was helping work on a cure for a deadly virus, but she contracted the virus. Doing so, ended up dying. Because of her importance in the operation, she was turned into a simulacrum, and those scientists like put what was remaining of the virus inside of her simulacrum body, which gives her the types of abilities and powers she has. So let's now get into her abilities. So her passive is called Infected. Melee attacks poison enemies for 5 seconds. So a little brief overview of what poisoning is. So enemies gradually take 5 damage per second when poisoned. Okay, now let's move on to the tactical, which is called Poison Dart. Launch a needle that creates an area of effect that poisons enemies caught in its radius and prevents the use of healing items. Teammates caught in the radius will have their health gradually restored and will be able to use healing items faster. Lasts for 10 seconds. The ultimate is called Biostorm. Unleash a large spherical cloud that poisons, blinds, and slows enemies caught inside of it. Teammates inside of this cloud will have their health gradually restored. And those are the abilities. I didn't make any artwork for the legend because I am not good enough to make like super cool artwork. But yeah, so we've made it through the concept now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to think of like how this exactly would work in game, and maybe like tweaks that would be made to the kit in order for Phage to be a balanced legend in Apex. So let's start off with the passive real quick. So the passive, I feel like I would be really interested to see what an ability like this would work exactly like. I feel like it might be decent off drop, like being able to punch and then take some damage done for a little bit. Like, I think that would be I don't know. This would be a really interesting one to honestly try to fit in. Like, would punch damage and a poison effect be too much, or would it be too little for what it would be? I think it would be, I don't know, I think it would be fine. It really just depends though on like a certain scenario. So now let's move on to the tactical. So the tactical, I feel like would be a really suppressive ability in game, honestly. Like, preventing healing items for 10 seconds. I feel like that might be a little bit strong and suppressive. Like, I think that, like, it really depends. Like, I feel like if you were gonna try to combat the tactical, you'd really have to have good game awareness and know exactly what you're doing to try to avoid it and back away. Like, and also, by the way, like, the poison effect only would do stuff to your health. It wouldn't, like, do stuff to shields. I should have probably added something for that earlier. But yeah, so you really have to, like, I don't know, like, in this scenario, like, if you're throwing gunfire and also this ability, and that's gonna be super strong, and I feel like it would definitely, like, be an easy wipeout to the team. Like, 10 seconds I feel like isn't an extremely long time, so if you have good repositioning potential, then you might be able to save yourself, like, just in case of like a squad with like a Phage comes in and just like poisons the entire team. Like, it really just depends. I feel like this ability could probably be a little too much, along with the poison effect. And it lasts for 10 seconds, and having a poison effect for 10 seconds, along with it, like, doing 5 damage per second, I feel like that and the prevention of healing is really insane. Like, I don't know. That just sounds crazy. I feel like with the teammate part, gradually restoring health, and using healing items faster, that definitely is really good for the team, honestly. And now let's move on to the ultimate. So I feel like it would be a good ultimate, honestly. Like, for what it would be really good, but I feel like if this type of ability were to be added, it shouldn't be too large. Like, it would have to be a decent size, but it can't be, like, insanely big, because if it's really big, then enemies are just going to be stuck in there, and they're not going to have a good time, caught up in a massive cloud that's blinding them. Like, it would have to be scaled down a little bit, at least, but it can't be, like, too small. It's got to have, like, some sort of sweet spot for how big it is, how it would work. And teammates being able to get healed would be really good as well. Like, I feel like teammates should still be kind of blinded when inside of the Biostorm, but no slowing effect and the healing effect. So how exactly would, like, so I already kind of, like, went over an idea of how to balance that out. But, like, I feel like trying to balance this type of legend out, like, I'd probably say maybe the poison effect would have to be, it'd have to do a little less damage than 5 damage per second. Probably. Or the poison damage could vary depending on the ability. Like, for the Biostorm, I feel like with, like, that, like, it would be for how long the enemy is inside of the Biostorm, instead of it being like, okay, you're in there, you get poisoned, you get out, you're still being poisoned. Like, I feel like only in the Biostorm you would be getting poisoned and maybe do a little more damage than what this would be doing. So the poison dart, I feel like 10 seconds, I don't know if it's a little too much for, like, silencing the ability to use heals or not. Like, this, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, a legend like this, I feel like would be really tricky to get right, like, in how you're gonna do it. Like, you're either gonna end up making this type of legend, like, overpowered or very weak, and you really need to have, like, a good thinking brain, a good critical thinking brain to know how exactly you're gonna balance the abilities out. Like, I feel like, so here are my ideas for, like, again, like, how to balance this kid out. Like, it really, for the passive, like, does the typical punching damage and then the poison effect. But I don't know if that would be too much or not. Like, you're not gonna be punching all the time, so I guess that would be just fine like that. Then the tactical, oh my gosh, I honestly don't know for this one. Like, maybe reduce, like, the DPS from 5 to maybe something like 2 or maybe 3.5. I think 3.5 would be alright, but 2 would probably work decently as well for the DPS when it comes to the poison effect for the tactical. And then maybe, I think it should be the same amount of time. Like, the poison effect should last the same amount of time as the use of no healing items. Again, it really depends on how the fight is going. Like, if you're doing, like, again, if the enemies are doing damage and throw in the poison dart at the same time, then it's gonna be a little bit suppressive and might be a death sentence. And then the part for restoring teammates' health, I feel like is fine if it's, like, the same rate as the poison effect. And being able to use healing items faster, that should stay. Another thing about when it comes to trying to balance out the tactical is the radius. Like, how big of a radius is the poison dart going to cover? Like, I would guess it would have to be a little bit of a smaller radius, like, not too big but not too small of a radius. Maybe a medium small sized radius would probably work well for this type of tactical ability. But yeah, there are quite a few factors you need to take into consideration when it comes to trying to get this tactical ability to work well. And then for the Biostorm, I feel like nothing really needs to be worked on except the size of the sphere or the cloud needs to be, like, exactly in the sweet spot, and then teammates still have the blinding effect when they're inside of it, but they're not slowed down. and of course, so yeah, I feel like the ultimate would be fun, pretty much. So yeah, I think that's going to be all for this little legend concept. Like, this was a really interesting video to do. I would really love to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section. Like, would you ever want to see a legend like this? Or would you not want to see a legend like this? Like, let me know your thoughts, and maybe give me some legend concepts of yours in the comment section. That would be really cool as well. Like, at some point, I do want to plan on doing like a video where I get like a bunch of people's different legend concepts and compile them all into one video and rate them, because I feel like that would be really cool. And yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you did enjoy and find it very interesting. If you did like it, of course, be sure to give it a like. If you're brand new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell icon so you can get notified from whenever I upload a new video. And there will be a lot more legend concept videos coming down the road. I'm also going to try to include some weapon concepts, map concepts, and other buff and nerf concepts. And yeah, also be sure to join the Discord server. The link will be in the description. And I have a guilded server too, so if you have guilded and are looking for any servers to join on there, I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Also, be sure to follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/3LNEX. And yeah, once again, that's going to be all for this video. Let me know your thoughts about this legend concept in the comment section and what your legend concepts are, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.